The indictment charges defendant Crandall Williams with various counts of murder, felony murder, home invasion, armed robbery, and residential burglary. She states, "I don't see any warrants in our system." I want to bring that close for you guys so you guys can see that for yourselves. And this is coming from IDOC, okay? And I want you guys to pause or do whatever you got to do. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Chicago Conservative, and today we're sitting with Crandall Williams. He is a Chicago resident, and he has been framed for murder, and today we're going to sit down and talk about that. So we're going to let him introduce himself, tell the people who you are, a little about yourself, and why you're sitting with me today.
My name is Crandall Williams. I'm from Southside Chicago, 43 years old this year, and I am being framed for murder. This case been dragging out 16, 17 years right now. I'm ready for it to be over with. I don't think it should go to trial second time, and that's what I want the public to know.
I'm going to be honest with you. I read over the case, and I do support Blue Troops, as you guys know. I do support the police and things like that. But when I do see justice not being held, I have to call it out, ladies and gentlemen. So we're sitting here with Crandall Williams today, and we're just going to hop into it. So this was the state of Illinois, Cook County, correct? And this was the people of Illinois versus Crandall Williams, guys. And this is a very, very tragic story. There was a man who was murdered in his home in 2005. And basically they're trying to frame Mr. Crandall here for the murder. Now we're going to read down this motion here, correct? We're going to see what transpired on that day, and we're going to see the steps that Mr. Crandall did to try to defend himself and try to basically prove his innocence. Okay, guys, so we're going to hop right into it. So before we get started, what do you do as far as like activities, or like what do you like to do? Like let the people know who you are, man. We ain't going to make it all depressing, guys, okay?
I'm on house arrest right now. I got released out of Cook County Jail in 2023. So this case is ongoing. In my spare time, I'm a screenwriter. I love to write poetry. I love to write films. That's what I do. That's what I do as a hobby. That's a talent I've been having since I was 5 years old. That's what I do.
If you ever need me to act or do any type of voiceover, because a lot of people say I'm good at voice acting and things like that. So if you ever need somebody, man, don't be, hesitating to hit me up, all right? So we're going to get right into it. So we're going to get into the case as far as with the murder. We're going to explain the case, and we're going to be reading the motion. Now, the motion to dismiss as time buried certain charges contained in the indictment. Now comes the defendant, Crandall Williams, by his attorney, Amy P., Public Defender of Cook County, Assistant Public Defender, and moves his honorable court to dismiss certain charges of the indictment as the prosecution of said charges is buried by the statute of limitations, 720 Illinois CS 5/30-5. The indictment charges defendant Crandall Williams with various counts of murder, felony murder, home invasion, armed robbery, and residential burglary. The indictment charges that the offense occurred between February 7th, 2005 and February 9th, 2005. Testimony was heard by the grand jury in this matter, and a true bill was returned thereon on April 15th, 2008. The indictment was filed, stamped April 18th, 2008. April 15th, 2008 was more than 3 years after the later incident date of February 9th, 2005. 3 years, 65 days. The Illinois General Limitation Statute 720 Illinois CS 5/30-5 part states that a prosecution for any offense not designed must be commenced within 3 years after the commission of the offense if it is a felony. The prosecution of any of the felony charges in the indictment hearing is buried by the limitation statute because the charges were not brought before the applicable 3 years had expired. So, we just read the motion to dismiss, guys, and I also want to ask you, why do you feel that they waited so long to charge you? What was that? What is that about?
This is a case that involves a man who was killed in his own home in Calumet Park while I lived with my family around the year 2008. This murder happened in 2005, but you know, when investigators are going to a crime scene and investigating what was left on the scene, they didn't have nobody in custody. They were searching. So the case went cold. Enter me. I was in IDOC boot camp over the summer of 2007 on a robbery charge unrelated to this case. So when you are in IDOC, they have a buckle swab. I was in boot camp. I completed boot camp. So I ordered to leave boot camp.
When did you get inside of boot camp?
That was over the summer of 2007.
2000.
Yeah.
So you entered boot camp in 2007, but the murder was in 2005.
Yes.
Okay.
So I completed boot camp. But before you leave the premises, you know, you gotta give a buckle swab. And it goes to a database. So I made it home. November 20th of 2007.
Okay.
So I was home for 4 months. March 2008, I'm downstairs in my room at my mama's house, and she was telling me that the state troopers want to talk to me. I come upstairs, and they was already coming downstairs. So we met each other in the basement of my home. And they searched me, asked my name and everything, and they were saying that I got to go with them.
Right.
And I asked why. They didn't tell me. So I complied. I went with them. Now, I'm living in Calumet Park,
Right.
which is a few blocks over from where this crime took place at years ago. So we left my house. They took me to Riverdale, Illinois, police station. When I get down there, I didn't see no officers in sight. Nobody was down there. No officers, nobody. Just me and the investigators.
Right.
And they had me take a buccal swab. And I said, well, what is for? They said, just relax. They took me further out. Start over.
I'm sorry.
Yep, start over.
We ain't gotta start over. They love bloopers, so yeah, this, you know, we can cut all this out. Don't worry about it. So,
They taken my DNA in Riverdale, and I was asking what it was for. They said, you got nothing to worry about. I said, well, as far as I know about DNA, they only need DNA with somebody. They said, well, nobody, you got nothing to worry about. I let them take my DNA, swab me and everything. So we left that station. They took me further out to Homewood.
okay, so just to point out, guys, you know the police can legally lie to you, right? So don't ever believe what a police officer say 100%, because they are within their statute of limitations to legally lie to you, and which it sucks, but it's the truth. So that's probably, you know, something that, you know, you fell for. Everybody fell victim to it, man.
So they drove me out to Homewood, Illinois. It's further south. And they put me in the interrogation room. And they said, well, we got your DNA on the crime scene where somebody died years ago. And I asked for an attorney. And they didn't give me no attorney. They brought more investigators in there to question me. And they was trying to drum it in my head that I committed this crime. And I kept denying it. I kept denying it, even in tears. So we left that station. They took me to Calumet Park Station and threw me in lockup. Then I had to get bonded over. Shot my bond up to $4 million. Damn. I know I wasn't getting out. Just got a bond being so high.
So this is pertaining to the mouth swab, correct?
Yeah.
So they said that your mouth swab was found with the same DNA that was found in 2005 as far as the home invasion murder. So my thing is this: was there any other suspects?
No, not
So
at all.
you were the only suspect?
Yep.
Okay, so my thing is this is going to be, hard for, probably even with some of the viewers here, it's probably going to be hard for people to believe that you are innocent. But guys, trust me, there's more, okay? So how did you feel after they told you, like, no, you did this murder? After you were pleading, you said you were in tears telling them that this is not true. This is like, this did not happen. So how did you feel in that moment?
Well, I was scared to leave, get locked up again, because I just came home from boot camp. I was just getting back situated with my daughter. I had a daughter at the time. She just made 5 years old, and I had a girlfriend. So if I'm just coming home off a robbery charge, and you telling me that's finna be a murder charge, I know I'm finna be gone for a long time. So I bust out a tear. I'm looking like, hold on, because when something that serious, I know they're gonna hold me in the county jail for a long time fighting the case.
Right.
So
And then being a father too, and then being a provider, that's understandable for sure. So I want to read something for you guys, and this is from the IDOC, which you were what, incarcerated there, right, in boot camp there?
Yeah, I was in boot camp, yes.
Okay, so now we're gonna read this here, and this is a request by an individual in custody at the CCDOC, guys. Now, I'm going to read this. Now, the person that was in custody was the guy that we're speaking to right now, Crandall Williams, and he requested this sheet of paper here, correct? And this sheet of paper here is a custody request form. Now, what this basically explains, do you want to explain it yourself, or do you want to just like broaden? Okay, so basically, this is a request form to basically ask for a warrant that day. And now this is a conflict of interest, because in this IDOC response, this was completed by I believe it was a person at the front desk, or
a counselor at the county jail.
A counselor at the county jail, right? And what her response was, guys, now get this, now this is the tricky part, and this is where I feel as if this is, something that isn't really leveling out as far as justice when it comes to this case. It states, I don't see any warrants in our system. Now, this is the sheet of paper that he requested while he was in the Cook County, corrections facility, and he requested it through this form here. Now, he requested this on the 17th of, is that a 7 or a 9? Is that September?
Yeah, that would be September.
Okay, September 19th, okay. 2022, guys. And, I mean, we haven't seen no results. We haven't seen anything that transpired after this. And so has this been like cold ever since when you asked for this? So the question is, how can they come in and mouth swab you and violate your rights while already being on parole? Because that should already be in the system, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So that makes sense.
Right. So for years, I've been trying to contact the parole office to get the information, but it took me to write a request slip years later, because the law library in the county jail is trash. No information. It was really no help for a lot of years.
I've heard about a lot of stories of people being in the county jail, and it really sucks. I heard it's very disgusting. The COs, they let anything happen up in there and things of such. So yeah, guys, it's really, really tough. But I'm gonna actually look up, is it legal for a person to get a mouth swab on parole? But as I look this up, can you talk about anything as regarding to the future cases?
Well, I'm still going to court for this case. It's still going on right now. And the reason...
Well, I'm sorry, not like future cases as far as like the future within this case, I should say. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah. Well, this case is ongoing right now because I'm on house arrest. So I'm still charged for this case. There's a lot that happened in between 2008 and then right now. I've had charges dismissed. I've been convicted for this case. The appellate court reversed my convictions, and remanded me for a new trial. And I was arrested at the time where I didn't know the law. I was 24 years old.
Right.
Did not know the law at all, period. That's why I let them swab me. I'm thinking I had to do it. They the police. You come inside my house with a badge, that commands a lot of, attention and respect. I'm
Right.
gonna comply.
Right.
So that's what I did. But come to find out, I could have refused. I could have called my parole officer. I had a lot of chances to do these things, but I trust the officers to do their job.
Absolutely, which I want to point out, guys, they did not do their job, because I just checked this on ChatGPT. We're both looking at this right now. I want to read this for you guys. It says, generally, law enforcement usually needs consent, a warrant, or probable cause to take a mouth swab. Now, if we read this IDOC, guys, it states by the, it was the counselor, correct? She states, I don't see any warrants in our system. Now, I want to bring that close for you guys so you guys can see that for yourselves. And this is coming from IDOC, okay? And I want you guys to pause or do whatever you got to do to take a look at that and actually read that and how they violated this man's rights. So that is already strike one. I feel like I'm doing better than your lawyer right now. So
Everybody did better than my lawyer.
Jesus Christ. I don't want to make this interview dark, because I know the case is still ongoing, so I know you're under a lot of pressure right now. So let's talk about your future as an author and a screenwriter, because I know there's been a lot of people that has been in worse situations, than yours, that has came out and become very, very successful. So what are your plans as far as being an author? Well, first I want to ask you, how long have you been writing?
I've been a writer since I was 5 years old. I've always been into movies and music. When I was a kid, I used to write scripts with rap stars in my scripts, picturing them acting out my scenes and stuff like that. I never got a chance to finish a lot of this stuff. In the 90s, gang banging, smoking weed. The 90s was very fun, but it's also
I heard.
but it's also on that side of, you get into a lot of stuff. I didn't start to grow up and mature until I had my daughter.
Yeah, that's the truth for a lot of people. A lot of people don't grow up until they have their first child, because they know that is the utmost responsibility that they need to uphold in their life,
Mm-hmm.
And, if you don't feel that way, then me personally, that's just an inhumane person. So I also want to ask you, has writing changed you for the better? Like, has writing kind of kept your head on while you was incarcerated?
Well, I don't want to say that writing changed me, because it's already built in me.
Right.
Writing has helped me manifest my thoughts on paper without interruption. So when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, when I had that talent growing up, I was heavy into the streets.
Right.
And I had time to really focus on my craft. But
which you probably wanted to. You probably just didn't have the opportunities, and the leaders probably back in that day probably wasn't encouraging you to do the right thing.
No, they did, bro.
Okay.
They did.
Okay.
I was one of the smartest kids on my block, and they always told me stay in school.
Who was telling you stay in school?
All the old timers on my block, all the older guys on my block, they never put a gun in my hand, never put drugs in my hand. They told me stay in school.
What do you think influenced you to do that?
I want to follow behind the crowd.
Yeah.
Follow behind the crowd, man. Want to be a part of something.
Were those the younger guys or the older guys?
I hung with an older crew. I didn't hang with nobody my age.
So it was the same people that was telling you that you need to do better.
Yeah.
The same people that was, being a bad influence.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a don't end up like me situation. Okay, I understand that, but then you also want to, take into perspective that you don't want to, because, me personally, I use this analogy. I don't have to do crack to know crack is bad. I can just look at a crackhead and know that, I'm not going to do that, because that is just not a life that I want to live. So when I see these people, I really don't even have to interact with these people, do anything like that. Now, I'm not really saying that that's, wrong or anything like that, but because, people weren't teaching us, especially me back in the day when I was growing up, so I know they weren't really saying it back in your day, but they didn't understand pattern recognition, and they weren't really for real change. Because if they were, the whole no snitching thing wouldn't be real. The whole protesting for white officers shooting black people, but no protesting for black people killing black people all the time. Black people having the highest murder rate in America and things of such. Like, why? These are things that we need to be protesting for. So that's what I honestly believe. And it's just sad that I think that our generation, well, not your generation for sure, but like within that bracket, they kind of failed us. So it sucks. But do you have any new projects as far as being an author and being a screenwriter?
Yeah, working on a drama right now. I just finished it. It's called Off the Rocker. I'm heavily inspired by Tupac, his music.
He was a screenwriter and an actor too, I believe.
Tupac was a very good poet.
Yeah, poet. Yeah.
And he made Brenda's Got a Baby.
Oh yeah, I love that song.
Brenda's Got a Baby.
Brenda to do that. I ain't gonna copyright us, but you feel me? But
so my drama that I wrote, it touches on that aspect of life. So it's fictionalized, but it's
realistic fiction.
Yeah,
I should say. Okay, that makes sense. A lot of people read and watch movies, and they indulge in things like that all the time because it's relatable. Now it's not real, but it's relatable. That makes sense. So I want to ask you this last question, and me personally, I think it's the most important question. What's next for you, like in the future, as far as how you want to go in life? Do you want to just focus on the case? Do you want to focus on screenwriting? Excuse me. Like, what's more important for you in life right now? Now, I probably think I feel like I kind of know the answer already. Is to like get the case off your back, so then you can feel more free to do what you want to do. If am I wrong or?
You're right.
Okay. So, I mean, I could agree with that 100%, man. So, okay. So when you do, I should say, beat the case, what's next for you?
Keep writing. I wish I could be discovered. I'm a really good writer. I would love to see my movies get produced.
Okay.
I want to do it for the rest of my life. I want to be a writer for the rest of my life. I'm cool with that right there.
That's cool.
I'm not looking for the fame. I'm not looking for none of that type stuff. Just give me a computer.
And you cook, right?
Give me some alone time.
Right.
I'm a real good screenwriter. That's what I do.
Okay. It sounds really, really good, man. It sounds something like it's safe, and it could help people a lot. Because me personally, I think when it comes to the whole black culture, I should say, we don't have to be entertainers all the time. Instead of us playing the role, we should actually write the script. That gets a lot of more credit. And me personally, I just think it's kind of overrated now. Like the whole, I want to be a basketball player, or I want to be a rapper, or I want to be something that's going to be basically more playing the jester role for basically the people, in my opinion, the oligarchy that controls America. So they've always used black people for their own personal need and gain, and they use us through entertainment. And if I'm being honest with you, that entertainment also breaks us as a community as well, because the most entertainment that we as black people indulge in is hypersexualized, is violent, and it just has to change. So I appreciate you, man, doing this interview with me. We will see each other again. And when it comes to the case, is there anything else that you want people to know about it, or?
Yeah, listen, I am 100% confident with my approach to this case. I'm innocent.
Yeah.
I didn't kill this man. I have no idea who did it. I'm being framed for murder. The message I want to send out there is that I want the public to know, because you have to realize this, they trying to send this case to trial a second time. And to me, that's not fair.
And you already did your time for it, right?
It's not even that. When you get convicted, you have a chance to appeal your convictions.
Right.
Okay?
Appeal, yeah, of course.
I won my appeal. The appellate court reversed and remanded for a new trial. So I was really supposed to go to trial in 2014, a second time.
Right.
But public defenders dragging the case out. And while they were dragging the case out, I was learning more. When I got my stimulus check, thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Let's go.
When I got my stimulus check, I spent my money on legal books. My family sent me legal books and they counted jail in 2021. So
That's a clip, by the way, girl. I'm listening.
So I bought legal books. That's when I started putting those request slips in, educating myself, and come to find out what really went wrong in the case and things like that. And
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just want the people to know, what was the percentage of that DNA that they found that matched yours? What was the match on it?
it's a dual argument. It's kind of like you have one side saying one thing, other side saying another. So I can tell you this. On the state side, let's start with them. The state is saying it's a mixture of DNA. This DNA was sent to 4 labs. Nobody came back and said it was my DNA. Nobody.
One was inconclusive, you told me, right?
I'm gonna get there. The state sent this evidence to their own labs. They never said it was my DNA. None of them did. But when you have a case involving DNA evidence, the defense also gets a chance to hire their own defense experts as far as DNA evidence. So my defense DNA expert was saying it is a mixture of DNA, and that also makes it inconclusive.
Right.
But you can't get a match to one person in a mixture of DNA evidence.
Yeah. We're gonna do some more. We're gonna have to definitely do some more research on that. I should have researched that during this show, but we're gonna do it next time, guys. And I just want to point out the last thing. And you guys be the decision maker in the comment section. Does the case sound like he's innocent? Does the case sound like he's guilty? Me personally, ladies and gentlemen, this case could go either way, but I mean, he already beat his appeal, so I'm not really sure why they're pushing it this far. But my biggest takeaway from this case is that in the IDOC response, the counselor says that I don't see any warrants in our system. And when I did the research here, it says that law enforcement usually needs consent, a warrant, or probable cause to take a mouth swab. And even when it pertains to the mouth swab, guys, 4 labs, come on, guys. You be the decision maker in the comments, you know, because I know it's probably going to be a lot of law enforcement that watches this episode as well. And I definitely want your intake. So thank you for joining the show, man. For sure. Yes, sir. And I'll see you guys next time. And I'm out of here. Wait for part 2.